Welcome back to Henry's Garage. Very short episode this week, partly because I'm not getting, I've only got a couple of days, couple of hours in fact. I think I've worked out where the leak's actually coming from, and it's not the water pump, it is the seal between the inlet manifold and the head. And I have to get that right, so we'll do a bit of work on that. I tried to put on the exhaust manifold, realised I haven't got the pieces of paper that go in between. Oh, bloody hell. RTV, the gaskets, there we go. I haven't got the gaskets, so I need to order them, so I'm really annoyed with myself because actually I'm spending money on delivery, which is no good to me. Anyway, we do work out what the problem with the water pump is, or the water leaking. I think we tidy up our exhaust and starter motor. We check the starter motor working, and we do actually get the starter motor on, and it looks very pretty. But it's not wired up yet. So that's it. Not much to it this week, I'm afraid. But do come back for next week, where I should have at least my inlet manifold gaskets, my replacement arriving tomorrow, I think. And I'll get the exhaust, and hopefully they'll be coming a couple of days later. So hopefully this week we'll get both of those on. I am having trouble with my O-ring, and in terms of this, it just seems too big to fit in to, you know what, I'm going to show you that, and then when we come back to this, you'll see that I've gone back and done it. So with that in mind, like, subscribe, comment, and come back next week. Right, so I've got some new gaskets for this, and we're going to try to sort it out. So I've looked at my old videos, and the way you do this is you tighten this down finger tight, okay, measure the gap, and then add on between 0.25mm and 0.5mm in gaskets. I did that correctly for this engine and incorrectly for the white engine. So I did it correctly for this, and I've still got a leak. So I'm going to assume I haven't done it correctly, that I measured incorrectly in some way. I'm going to start by just checking those torques and then go from there. The correct torque on this is 27 Newton meters. And those are all good. Right, I want to be absolutely certain it's leaking from the gasket as opposed to the top. So I'm just going to add a bit again and just check that. Okay, so that actually looked to me like it was coming out of here, out of the water channel here, rather than the gasket. So that's now completely filled up. Can we see that from the camera? No, so this is now beginning to drip out, and it came out of there, I'm positive, rather than from the water pump. That's good, that would make more sense. Right, so I think it's actually coming out of here. There we go. That's the first water coming out. It's definitely coming out of there. Okay, good. So I don't need to worry about this. This seems to be okay. The place I'm having my problem is with my seal. So let's work on that. Okay, so I've cleaned off the gasket, and I thought I'd ordered a new one, but it doesn't look like I have. But the problem I've got here, I've noticed, this helicoil that I installed is not flush. It's sticking out slightly. And that is absolutely going to prevent a proper seal. And I don't know if that being out here would cause the issues elsewhere, but I'm going to have to do something about that. So I'm going to install helicoils all the way along here before I go any further. Right, I'm going to try to remove this helicoil. I've actually got two in there, which is damaging the threads that I put in anyway, because they're not perfectly lined up. So if I can just get the helicoil to come up a bit. And I'm hoping I can Well, I think that's probably okay. I still have a coil in there, and those threads look okay, I think. I've got new screws for it, so I think what I'd like to do is go through and put, clearly there's nothing that goes here, but go through and put new helicoils in, here, 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 here and here, because I think they need them. This isn't the ideal tool for this, but in order to get in here, I'm using this thing with all of these bits, so that goes in, and that should help me to turn it, I hope. Screws, bolts. Yeah, that's nice. Okay, good. So actually I am a bit worried about this one, but I have no way of getting that out. I need to have a thing, and then I would need, I don't know what I would need to get it in again. So I'm a bit worried about that one. We'll do the others. We won't do it on camera, and then we'll have a think about what we want to do. I've ordered a new gasket now, and I think I best wait till it comes. I think through utter luck rather than good judgment, I managed to get both helicoils that I had in there out. So that's got a new one in. This one has a new one, and this has a new one. This one already had one, and just the one. And these two holes were talking up okay. So I'm not going to bother with those. So I need the gasket. I'm going to try a paper one again. And so I need to wait for that to arrive, which will be a couple of days from now. So we're going to have a look at starter motor and the exhaust manifold. Okay, so in the intro, which as I was doing, I sort of changed into an outro, and then after recording realised it had been the intro, I mention about the size of this O-ring, and you can see it's bigger than the gap here, So if I put it in anywhere, you know, if I squeeze it in, it's sticking out. Okay, you can see it anywhere. It's always sticking, and I'm getting it to hold in place. I mean, just getting it all in is nigh on impossible. But getting it in and then trying to fit it up is a step further. And I don't really know what to do about it, because that's where my leak is coming from. And I will have the same problem in the white car, so I'm going to have to fix that before I put the engine back in. And so thoughts about how to do this would be very welcome. I mean, yeah, it's always sticking out a bit somewhere. It won't sit inside. And that ain't great. So we have here a starter motor. This one came off Chris's car. So I've just connected these two together because normally you'd have a power to both. And if I connect the power up, right there we can see the thing comes out, it engages. So the starter motor works. Right, so I've cleaned those off. I've applied rust converter to the, you know, the metal bits, and that will get some silver VHT paint, which I have, and that will get some just black spray on paint, but those need to dry first, so we'll leave that for a bit and do something else, possibly not to do with cars. We've got a bit of primer on both of them, so we'll get paint on next. So I'm a bit annoyed with myself because I thought I had the gaskets for the exhaust manifold, and I've realised that I don't. Not for this car anyway. So I must have a set up on the other car. I don't have a set down here, and that is annoying for many reasons, not least, that's annoying for many reasons, not least to being the cost of postage. More or less got the one on underneath, and I want to switch these around so that the bolt is on coming in that way. So the starter motor, torque setting of 40 Newton meters. Okay, so that's on and torqued. I've been wire wheeling this manifold just to clean it off a bit. These studs are going to need replacing. So we're going to apply a bit of oil to try to loosen them up, and then some heat, I think, and see if we can get them out. Right, well, I've applied heat and WD-40 and all that kind of stuff. My nut extractors won't work, so this one will get onto my stud extractors. That will tie on, but I then can't get the inner one to go on. If I just use two nuts, that doesn't work either. This one here is too big, so I'm going to look to get something different to try to get those out. Right, I've been getting these studs out, and I got this new bit. Is that showing up? I got this new bit, which is great, but boy does it take some pressure. So
all you do is tighten it up, and you get a mate in to help. Oh, Jesus! Oh, there we go. That one went quite easily. And you just undo it. Simple as that. Now, that's the first time we've managed to do it without an extension bar. And in order to get this undone, I've actually had to put it in the clamp up until now, and try to undo it in the clamp. I had to undo it in the bench, but that seems to be undoing okay. Yeah, no, I'm going to have to take it to the bench again. But as you can see, the studs come out, and new ones are arriving tomorrow to go in.
Okay, and here's how I actually get them apart again.
Oh.
Sorry about that. So it takes a lot of pressure is what I would say, but it's a fabulous tool, this. And it was only $10.50 on eBay. So have a look through it. Right, so this is all painted up nice. I just want to get a bit of some of the paint from here. Good. Next is the studs. So I've got here 3 new studs for this. And although I have the other tool now for removing studs, for installing, this one might work better. Yeah, I think that'll work. Okay, well those seem to be in all the way. These aren't going to be any good. The lock washers will be fine. Those washers are going to be too big when I actually stick a exhaust on there. I can't put on the exhaust manifold, which I had planned to do. So it was going to come on here, but it can't come on because I haven't got my gaskets, or if I have them I can't find them. That's it for this week. I managed to record 2 intros. I've just come back out to do this. So if the intro doesn't make a lot of sense, you know why. Anyway, not really got as far as I'd wanted, but you know, we are making some progress, and any help with that O-ring, much appreciated. I know Chris Jackson has mentioned about a silicone grease that he uses to hold it in place, and maybe that's the way to go. We'll see. All right, thanks. See you soon. Bye.